Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly values, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So this whole we listen and we don't judge phenomenon is very interesting because these chicks get on here and you never know what the world they are going to say. And I just want y'all to hear this. I just want you to hear it. Because you got to hear it.
We listen and we don't judge, okay? When I went back to school and I was working full time and I had kids, I sure did find a website that wrote my papers and would take my online classes. And I'm about to put you on game, so save this video. This website right here will write your papers for you. Just submit the instructions, pay, and then an expert writer will send it back once it's done. And yes, they're all original and they do not use AI. And then this website right here will take the entire online class for you. Thank me later. So we listen and we don't.
So now, here's the thing. They get on this social media platform and they say anything. I have long suspected that many of these chicks that talk about having a degree and all of that sort of thing is really cap.
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing,
it be cap. Because a lot of these chicks, more than would probably admit to, use things like this, little systems, whatever, to do the work for them. Before that was a thing, they were using other people, men, smart guys, other smarter girls who were actually doing the work, who were actually studying, who was actually on the grind in school, paying attention, attending the classes, passing the exams and, doing the project work, the essay work, all of that. They was finding ways to not have to do the work, but yet earn the degree that came with it. This is why a lot of these chicks that have degrees are stupid. This is why they're still stupid. All of that schooling you went to and you still dumb. All of that schooling you went to and you still don't read good. All of that schooling you went to and you still can't construct a sentence properly. All of that schooling you attended, all of that student loan debt that you accrued, and you still can't write a structured essay. You still don't know how to structure an essay. You don't know how to do the outlines. You don't know how to do the cover page. You still don't know how to cite your sources. You still don't know how to include the bibliography. Still don't know how to do that. Don't know the steps of research. That's because you didn't grind. That's because you didn't actually do that work when it was time to do the work. Go to school when you're ready to go to class and participate. Getting all that student loan debt for what? Just to still be dumb with that piece of paper. And this is when they wonder why jobs want the not just that piece of paper when you show up as a form of credentials, but they also want some kind of experience, some type of internship or something that relates to this work that you're trying to do. And I know on the one hand, it might seem unfair. Well, I just graduated, and then trying to get into this field. So what experience do you want me to actually have? Especially when we're talking about teenagers who went directly from high school to college and then did the school full time and then came out with the degree. I get it to a certain extent. I get it. It's like, man, how much experience you trying to get me to have? But at the same time, when you look at it from this perspective, it's like, yeah, I hear you talking, but what can you do? Because education is in theory. What can you do in reality? And if you get in there and you showing incompetence for the job, and like you really don't understand the actual reality of what this work entails, they liable not to hire you, because it's like, okay, you don't even really know what you're talking about. You got this little degree, but you don't know what you're talking about. And she's sitting there caressing that headband wig is killing me. But anyway, this is what it is. And even in the comments, the people's like, what? It's like, so this is why I barely trust regular doctors nowadays, because you don't know who really took the class or who passed or who cheated. So you essentially graduated without knowing anything about your degree. You learn your job while working a job anyway. They over prepare you for school, but you actually learn your job with on the job training. Yeah, but you got to get the theories correct. This is not a flex. Assisting and giving study tools and etc. is okay, but doing the work for you doesn't really qualify you for the degree or skill. You're going into the real career job behind on things. So how about you go to school when you're ready to learn and participate? She about to get her degree taken. Has anyone tried this? Hear me out. There's nothing wrong with a little 1-2 every now and again to assist. But to get on here and say they did all the work, admitting on camera that you recorded. Several people I knew did this. I'm actually glad there wasn't a cheat code, and I actually had to be attentive and learn when I was in school. Here's the thing. Maybe you aren't ready for that degree. And they don't want to hear that kind of stuff. You weren't ready. You're not ready. You're cheating through life, just cheating through life, just trying to skate by on easy street through life, through everything. And everything can't be easy street. These chicks are averse to challenges and things that really, this is why they don't grow. I'm going to say this before I go. That aversion to challenge is why they don't grow. This is why they don't grow in career. This is why they don't grow in life. This is why they don't grow in relationship. This is why they don't grow emotionally. This is why they don't grow mentally, because they avoid every challenge that will force you to grow. Challenges force you to grow. When you encounter challenges and you have to go through challenges in life, the challenges depend, no matter if they are easily overcome or difficult to overcome, it makes you make a choice. You have to choose to try to overcome it. That's the choice that challenges make you make. You have to choose to overcome the challenge or succumb to it. And when you come to challenges and you consistently choose to meet that challenge head on and overcome it, this is where you learn lessons. This is where you start growing. This is where you start maturing. But when you consistently try to get around challenges, or every time there's something that comes up that seems a little bit difficult, or it's just not easy, or what have you, you're trying to find a way around it. You're trying to find a way to get where you're trying to go, and at the same time bypass a challenge. That is when you don't grow. That's where the saying comes from, the cheaters never prosper. Because when you cheat and when you find underhanded ways and slick little ways to get to a goal, you may to a certain extent reach your goal or objective, but you still behind the 8 ball, because if anything call for you to know more, do more, or fall back on the lesson that you had to learn through the challenge that you skirted around, you're not going to be able to do it. That's just like somebody cheating their way through medical school. You cheat your way through medical school, so you don't really learn everything that you need to learn about the anatomy and about the discipline of medicine that you're going into. So when you go into your field, and then you start meeting these patients that don't present textbook, or that don't present, where it's an easy answer, because you didn't really learn it. You can't even think around it. You can't even think around, utilizing the knowledge, utilizing what you had to learn through the challenges. It's like, man, okay, you have this symptom and this symptom and this thing and that thing, but it don't quite line up. Well, if you got this symptom, these 3 symptoms, it should be this illness, but then you got 2 other symptoms that don't appear to have any relation to it, but it's here. Now, if you learned what you were supposed to learn, you might be able to actually think your way around that and make 2 and 2 equal 4. But when you cheat it, it's like you be stumped. You'll be stumped because it's like, okay, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. This is why teachers used to tell you show your work. Don't just pop up with no answer. They used to give you a piece of scrap paper, show your work. This was especially so when you was doing math. Show your work. Show me how you got that answer, so I can look at the process. That's what be missing. You don't understand the process. So when something go wrong, you don't understand the system enough to know where it would have went wrong. You don't get it. Anyway, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.